Hey guys,
Aziz.
I'm so happy that you guys jumped straight into the conversation. That's really good. That's really what this session is all about. I want you guys to connect because and keep the cameras on, people. Don't be shy. The the point I've been talking to many of you one on one, to a lot of people from the community. Um, some people I work with, and I kept hearing the same questions from many of you over and over. And and I felt like it's one thing when I explain, I can speak to each one of you and I can explain logically, okay, here's what the best way to address this challenge, here's the best way to do stuff, here's what worked for me. But I felt that was what was really missing is you guys hearing each other saying the same thing. So like if you pick a topic or if you ask a question and I will keep my mouth shut and you guys will answer each other and start having a conversation, I felt that this would be um a good thing to do because you guys will hear that it's not that you're not the only one that experiencing specific problem. And I'm not trying to diminish that. I'm just saying I think it's empowering to hear other people's perspective on the same problem, and it's really important, and it's already proven that feeling part of a community with a problem like tinnitus is it's emotional motivation, and it makes you much stronger to know that other people are dealing with similar problems. So I don't know if I explained this right, but that's why I was thinking instead of me just sharing more information about whatever or answering questions, I'm still here and I will answer questions. Of course, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere, but I really wanted that you guys would hear each other speak about some of those things. And I can pick up the first topic just to get us started, unless somebody has something they want to talk about immediately. If that's the case, then I'll let that happen. Does
No,
anybody have anything that they want to just start talking about right now or asking about? Or no? Okay,
no.
so let me. I know. It's always like that. You have to kind of kickstart everything. So here's a topic that I've heard. I don't know the percentage, but I heard it from so many people, and I know that this was a challenge for me. It's still a challenge sometimes. It's not something that stopped. But I know that all of you don't realize how common this challenge is. So let me just present the challenge. The challenge is family members and spouses that don't seem to understand what you're going through. So some of them, some family members or spouses, they can be compassionate, they can support you, which is amazing, but they still don't get how much of a challenge tinnitus can be in specific situations or specific noises that they make that can drive you nuts, right? Um, and then some other family members would just be plain, I don't know what's the word to use here, but uneducated, let's just say it that way, where they where they just say, oh, but you're fine. Thank God you're not crippled. You're not missing some limbs. You see, you hear. You're fine. So yeah, you have a problem, but it's not terrible. It's not so bad. So why are you complaining about? And I know that when you hear that, it could be pretty demoralizing because they don't understand what challenges you go into. They don't understand. Sorry, the not being able to sleep, not being able to focus, not being able to function or be in a noisy environment and have a conversation. They don't get it because they don't see tinnitus. It's not something that you see. So I can tell you, I can share a really common example that still happens to me, even though my wife is amazing and she supported me from years and years ago when I was having hearing problems. She was the one that actually pushed me to get hearing aids, for example. So, but here we are after 15 plus years together, and she can still get a phone call, and she puts it on speaker a lot of the time, and the speaker is very loud, and she
Yeah.
speaks very loud.
Yep.
Right? I can see some of you already smiling. And here I am next to her going like,
Yep. Yeah.
right? So, so here's an example. And again, my wife is supportive and she's great. But this is an example. Another example is that we go with really good friends to a restaurant to eat, and these friends that are really good friends, then they just don't think about it, and they pick the most noisiest and challenging situation. And every time when I go there, it's like I have to take time, and I have to plan, I have to choose the right uh, audio plans on my phone and kind of be ready to what I'm going to do. So I'm dealing with the same things that I'm talking to you about. So this is the first topic. So let's talk about how your spouses or family understand you or don't understand you, and share your own experiences, frustrations, and we can talk about that. Okay?
Okay, I'll start out. My wife has it too, but she's habituated so good, it really just comes and goes, and she just kind of just lets it go when it comes. So she understands what I go through, and I haven't quite even reached that part yet. And I like going to restaurants and everything. The rest of my family that I go with when I go out to eat, they do pick loud. I don't know. I don't even think they realize they don't even pick the loud restaurants. They just go and they just don't realize how sometimes, it's like you're kind of on alert a little bit. Like I'm on alert a little bit. And I hate to say that, but that's how it kind of is. I don't think like most people don't really realize how it kind of bothers you or bugs you. Uh, the people have never, just the family members or just people you go out to eat with, and you don't really tell them you have it or anything. It's just that sometimes you just bear and grin it, and but that's kind of how it seems like to me. I usually try to tell people, but most of the time it doesn't bother me as much as it usually because I'm so focused on talking with all of them or listening to them. It does sometimes doesn't get to me unless it's a kind of a irritating day where it's been irritating, and so but that's kind of how it is. So, I feel people like that the wives or their girlfriends don't really realize it or their husbands don't. So I understand. So that's kind of how I am with everybody. So
Okay. Anybody else wants to share about this?
Yes, I was going to come in here. I find people's insensitivity. I'm gonna go like really, really strong with this. Unforgivable because it's like I know. Let's say somebody is coming over to dinner, and I know they have what is it? Irritable bowel syndrome, right? And I serve spaghetti and Italian food full of tomato sauce, very strong ingredients. So if I know this, I should prepare something that is soft on the stomach, there's other things. So why would I do that? So my son sometimes takes me the last few years to a restaurant for my birthday and the whole family goes. He picks the loudest restaurants, knowing full well that I have tinnitus. So I have to call him and he says, "Oh, Mom, you're going to be fine. It's really, the music is really not that loud." That happened the last year and it was basically a disco. And
Oh my God.
a very expensive French restaurant, one of these more like modern type French, here in downtown Tampa. And the music, I thought it was back in the discos in Miami. I couldn't. And so I really suffered through the meal. I expected the men in the group to stand up and go speak to the manager and say, "Would you kindly mind turning the music just a little bit?" My wife, my mother, has very sensitive ears. I mean, you don't have to say any, just saying that. So I went and spoke to the manager. Nothing was done. They didn't do anything. And the music was so loud that if they had just lowered the volume a little bit, nobody would have noticed. They would not have noticed. And it would have meant some relief for me. So I've been in a lot of those situations and it's like it makes me angry to have to remind members of my family that I have tinnitus. So if I were walking around with a cane or a walker, they could see it, of course, but they don't understand that this is an invisible condition, but it's still a condition that is, can cause a lot of distress for a lot of us.
Yeah.
So I can't understand, and I'm talking about my family, the lack of consideration. And these are really well-educated people, the members of my family. All these people are doctors. Maybe that's the problem. They're doctors. My son's a doctor, the wife, her parents, the sister of the highly educated people. And they have no common sense or no, I don't, they just look at me like very cold. I guess they're really doctors, I guess.
Exactly,
They just
doctor.
kind of look, "Mom, you're fine." I said, but I'm not fine. I have tinnitus." "Mom, you're walking, you're breathing. You should see the 60-year-old man I saw today. He's really not." I'm like, "Listen, you know what? Forget it." Yeah, because he sees people that are in pieces. And so since I don't have limbs missing, I guess, or I'm bleeding, I'm okay. So there's it
The
just really
disconnect. There's a disconnect between what
tremendous.
they think tinnitus is and what is the effect that we all experience.
Right.
And I have to say that some of it is just because they don't understand. They're not trying to be mean or they're not
Mm-hmm.
trying to be insensitive. However, when it's really the closest people to you and you already explain to them what kind of challenges you're going through, it is a little bit disappointing and they still don't seem to get it.
So
Or
they don't.
remember. Yeah.
And it's very hurtful. And I mentioned to you, a guy yesterday, that I was talking to my sister. We're each other's support, person for many things. And yesterday she said, "You just have, you have a bad attitude about this." Oh,
Wow.
gosh. Oh, I said, "You
Oh,
know what? You'll never understand." "Oh, of course I understand." I said, "No, you don't." And they really don't. So I don't think it's that we have a bad attitude. It's that we have to deal with a situation that is difficult, that can be scary at times. There's the fear factor, the anxiety, depending on where we all are in this journey. And she told me one time, "Well, at least you don't have cancer." what does that have to do with what I'm talking? So that's my contribution to this. I mean, that the degree of insensitivity is incredible, and that doesn't help somebody trying to habituate. You know, going to events, going to family reunions, and I'm always participate. I'm always, but I just wish the people around me would take that into account. You know, my mom, you know, my wife has tinnitus. You know, it's not. I have to make sure that she's comfortable in this restaurant. That it's okay. That so
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I completely understand. And but you see, this is a perfect example for why the community and these kind of calls are really important, because now you are in a group of people that really understand, and you can feel like, okay, I'm not by myself. There are other people that experience that. In the community, you guys have a place where you can ask questions about specific problems or situations, and then see how you and respond to each other and support each other. That's why I really wish that more people from the community would, when somebody posts a question, I sometimes, just so you all know, I sometimes specifically avoid answering, because I want other people to respond, so you can get responses from other people, not just from me. Um, so, but this is the really important part of having a community of people that are all suffering in a very similar way, not the same, but similar way.
I
Is
think
there any
people,
other?
I think
Oh,
to Patricia, Patricia, I think the people that your family is like mine, sometimes they just don't have any compassion for you. Even if they know you have it, they think that they would go to a restaurant and say, "Hey, mom, you think this is going to be all right?" It's but it doesn't seem to work like it's like when we go and then the people go with you that don't understand, they just go and say, "Mom, just deal with it." But reality is, if they had a little more compassion about how you feel, "Mom, is this going to be all right?" Because I know when I go to restaurants, when I walk in the door, because usually every restaurant's got the music on, and some of it's low and some of it's not. And if it's too loud, I'll just go out whoever I'm with and say, "Look, it's not going to happen here." Uh, so that's kind of how I deal with it as it is anymore. I mean, and if the people don't like it, it is what it is. I mean, so I
I think
understand how you
I
go.
I shared with, again, with the community, and in my videos, I have a similar approach where I just communicate directly. Like, so if I go to a restaurant and it's really noisy and I'm trying to follow the conversation and participate, I just flat out, first thing I say, "Hi, my name is Guy, how are you?" Blah blah blah. I have serious problem with my hearing, so I may have some challenges, just to let you know. I communicate that first thing, that in those kind of situations, because it takes stress out. Now people understand you. Most people will be understand. Actually, most people, from my experience, are actually pretty understanding, and they go like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no problem, of course." Um, and at the same thing, even with my family, if I'm in a situation where they make me uncomfortable because of sounds or because of anything, like with my wife is the perfect example. When she uses the speakerphone, I just tell her, "Hey, please," I kind of get in front of her and say, "Your speakerphone," you know,
Yeah,
because I can't. It's just those digital sounds, when they are so loud, you guys probably all experience it. It just drills into your brain straight in. Yeah.
Now, can I speak? Can you guys hear me?
yeah.
Okay. I didn't know. I feel different on this. Maybe I'm blessed. I tell everybody right up from the start, hey, I've got, a hearing issue, and I mean, wherever I've gone, my family, they all know it, and I'll tell them to turn down the TV. They won't like it sometimes, but they realize something's wrong with me. We went to a restaurant for my birthday last year. It was my 60th, and it was a Logan's or something, and the volume, like you said, they put a speaker over every table, and it's the most disgusting thing. And they blare it, and I think it's to get you to eat and get out. So. My sister went up and talked to the guy, and they lowered it for me, which I thought was pretty cool. They facilitated me, but the only problem was there was a group of like 20 soccer girls, maybe 10 to 12, and I guess they just won a championship, and my whole lunch or dinner was just crazy because they were all gaggling. I don't know how. Yeah, don't get me wrong. God bless them. But I find if you tell people, they understand. But the problem is this world, noise is everything. The sounds are everything, and people like to hear sounds. And we're one of the few that can't handle all these sounds right now. And I think people forget. I don't know if they're so as far as not ignorant about it. Like my wife, gosh, she's got that same phone, and she'll talk. I'm like, you could put it. She's got an earpiece. I said, put it on your earpiece. She goes, well, but it'll blare, and I'll be like, can you turn that phone off? I mean, and she goes, you do it. Well, I'm like, because like and she's got a point there once in a while. But like I said, I just think that after a while you get oblivious to it sometimes, and we don't appreciate, and you just got to keep reminding them. And even my wife, I told her, because we'll have some talks, and I try to tell her that this is an invisible issue with us. You can't see it, and that's I think the hardest part of this journey is what we suffer. They can't see, nobody can see, but we feel it. And I mean, and it's just how you try to relate that message to everybody. And some, like I said, some appreciate it, some don't. And but you know what? We always have that choice to leave. You know what I mean? If they don't want to, So I like I said, I tell people up front all the time, and I built the deck. I think you guys, and whenever the guys would start a drill, or they would tell me, "Hey, Mike, put your," so the whole time, and it was, but then they forgot, and they would cut it, and I'd be like freaking out, but for the most part, I think most people do. I mean, and I apologize, Patricia. That's horrible. No one's ever said, you can handle this, and so I guess I've been blessed in that aspect.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's the just people just don't experience what we experience, so they forget, even if you tell them, and that's okay. And you're right. We need to just remind again because the way it is. But there's the other part I think that Patricia was talking about, where people that are really close to you, they know that you have a challenge, and they still don't seem to, you know,
Yeah.
act on it, I guess. One thing I would like to say that when I was, this was years ago, when I was trying to explain to my immediate family, so this is kids and my wife, how I feel when we are in a noisy environment trying to have a conversation. I literally, and I told some of you I know already, but I literally put a really annoying sound, like a tinnitus sound, on a sound system, and I put the volume pretty high, and I just told him, okay, now speak. And they were like, what do you mean? But the sound is so loud, we can't understand each other. And I said, okay, duh.
Welcome to
Yeah.
my world.
Welcome to my world. That's how it feels. So I literally kind of showed them, and since then, this was years ago. Since then, I have to say that this my kids and my wife, they pretty understand. They understand when I say, "Hey, right now, my tinnitus is kind of higher, and it's kind of challenging to follow conversation or something, or please reduce the volume of your speakerphone or whatever." Um, they understand me better. That that worked, I think. So if you have, so maybe Patricia, maybe it's something you can try with your sister, and the other person is to kind of play a really annoying sound and say, okay, now try to have a conversation, from a sound system. Okay, so this is really good discussion. I really love it. I'm wondering, before I come up with an idea, if anybody else want to bring up any other challenges, not family stuff, like, any other just tinnitus challenges.
Yep. If I could say something?
For
And
sure. What do you mean?
I know, Guy, you preach not to listen for it. And, first thing you wake up, it's there. And I try to do all the tools, but it still goes like a magnet right back to that noise. And like all day today. I mean, yesterday was a good day. I know the days are going up and down, and it's just I don't know how to I don't know how you guys do it, but I've had it for 15 months now, and this has been the hardest thing in my life ever. And I've done some crazy things, but it's to me is uh, it's just I guess I got to get up, and I told my wife from now on, I think when it happens, I'm just going to leave the house, drive my truck around the neighborhood or something. Maybe give me some type of way to escape it. So I was just wondering how everybody else work. How do they compensate for not listening to it?
Kind of a tough question. I think, because I've had mine a whole lot longer, a long time, long, but, and, you know, I think it's, I don't even know how to answer. I think it's like a day to day thing, but you try not to worry about the next day. Uh, you know, that's kind of how I've learned to deal with it. And I just kind of I just go on with my day no matter what, even if some of them are more stressful than others. And because I really don't, and, I follow a lot of guys' things, and I'm kind of guilty of not following through on things. And I know I do need to be more productive, which I am really trying. Uh, but in Mike's situation, Mike, you just gotta, you know, uh, follow through on what Guy says a lot, and the repetition and keep doing things. I know that's helped me a lot because I was really against all that. I mean, and I know it's helped me a lot. And if I would just do it more, like I'm working at it, I think that's the only way that you really have to manage it. It's something like you manage it, and then it does. See, Mike, you're still on really early stages of it, so you can really, if you follow guys, whether it works or it doesn't, you just got to keep doing it, and it does get better over the time, and then you do handle it better. I mean, so I don't know, like the rest of the people are, Patricia, John, and Michael, how their situation is. But I just know that it is what it is, and you just manage it best you can, and you take the good with the bad, and usually I usually have more good than bad, and even if it's bad, it's still good. You just kind of have to look at it that we don't have something else like like cancer or whatever else. Something else is wrong with you. So we're really kind of blessed in that way because there's so many people that have so many other things wrong with them. I mean, I don't know, that's kind of how I deal with it.
How long have you had it?
I've had it 10 years,
God bless you. Wow.
and it was all right. It was manageable, and then it got unmanageable, and then it got managed again, and it's just what it is. Once I knew after the first year, I was thinking, okay, this is what it is. So you just kind of manage it and you just try it. That's all it is. I don't know if the rest of everybody will speak out like Patricia or the John or Michael Klon, if they want to say anything, but that's just kind of how I do.
Appreciate it.
What I do is, the days that are difficult, I take off, I get in my car, and I try to run errands and be out driving, and I play music in my car at a comfortable loudness because I love music, but I have to be engaged and be very busy because that's the anxiety kicking in. And my anxiety is a big issue with this. Huge. Um, that can be very tiring because a lot of times I really would much rather stay home. But my nervous system won't let me relax because then I'll focus. It's that monitoring, and focus on then I do everything that Guy has taught us. And sometimes, it's helpful, but some days I just gotta go. And I use sound therapy with hearing aids,
Yeah.
not for hearing because I don't have a hearing issue, but just to deliver the sound therapy. So
Yeah.
some days, the whole day I'll have the sound therapy and I'm like, okay, well, that's the way it is. And if, when nighttime comes around, if it's been a very rough day, I take clonazepam, which is a benzo. And once again, if I need it, I take a very small dosage to calm the nerves. And that's okay. I've learned to say it's okay for the days that I need it. I give myself permission to do that,
Yeah.
So that was a good message from a lady who runs a group, a San Diego support group, and she said she's a very educated person with this situation. She has tinnitus as well, and she says, Patricia, if you need the clonazepam, if you need the relief, it's there and use it. You prescribed by your doctor. He knows what you're doing. It's okay. It is okay. So that's what I do. I can go maybe 3 days. I won't need it. And then may need it for 3 days in a row. I'm like, okay, so it's like you have to find what is going to be helpful to you. So mine fluctuates a lot. I never know what I'm going to get the next day. And that creates anxiety as well because you are, okay, what's going to happen? Then I go, okay, let it go. Calm down. Don't predict the future. It's just, but, so those are my struggles. And I'm always catching myself trying to monitor. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Me.
That is very hard. I mean, I'm trying to break that habit. So we'll see. I am hopeful. I habituated one time before.
Yeah, me too.
And that is it's crazy because I got to hear nothing. It went to complete silence. Took me about a year, and then it went complete silence, which they say can't be done. Some people say that other people that you hear speak, but yeah, no, in some people it goes normal again. And then I got COVID.
Wow.
And within 2 weeks, this thing started again, and it's been 2.5 years now. So,
Right.
But
yeah.
Patricia, what I really like is when you started to talk about that, you said when it fluctuate up, then you keep yourself busy, right? You just go and start doing stuff, you start engaging in things instead
Yeah.
of just kind of um instead of being passive, you're being active. You're
Yeah.
going out, you're doing stuff, you're engaging in things, and I think this is key when you're at a stage when you begin to habituate, but your habituation level is not high. It's 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 crucial to not let yourself brain just lock on the sound. Instead of lock on the sound, you need to lock on your life instead of the sound. That's crucial. And then the second thing that I think Brian said was, I don't try to predict what is going to happen tomorrow. I live today. I'm focused on right now. How do I get better? How do I move on? And I'm not worried about tomorrow, because worrying about tomorrow is just gonna put your brain's focus back on tinnitus, which is what you don't want to happen. So some really good stuff between both of you there. And yeah,
See,
if John and
Thank you.
Michaela, if you feel comfortable saying, sharing experiences, if you feel comfortable, if not,
Can you
not
hear
going to
me?
push you.
Well, my mic's very good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. Are you on
Oh,
the phone?
sorry, I
Okay,
don't
so
have
yeah, we
clearance
can't see
on
you,
this.
but we can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had it about 13 years, really bad for about 5.5 years. Um, I guess issues at home would be, I live with someone who talks very softly, and I try to tell her to speak up, but doesn't always happen. And the thing that bothers me most, I would say, is cleaning dishes. I don't know if that bothers anyone else, but it just
Yeah.
vibrates through my head like you wouldn't believe. And it's not so bad if I'm putting dishes away. I can deal with it. It's when someone plays the dishes, it kills me. But the other thing is, yeah, I try to get as busy as I can. Outside helps me a lot, being outside and doing things outside. Um, I actually, Patricia was saying, I don't know what type of medication that was, but I've been thinking of contacting the doctor for anxiety meds as well. I mean, I don't take anything. I take a sleeping pill every night, but I feel like, yeah, my nerves are just shot. I get stressed out real easy with this, but that's my deal in a nutshell. Really. So, yeah,
so John, are you driving?
no, I'm not driving now.
Oh, okay. It was just kind of hard, a little bit hard to understand. But to go back, Patricia, Patricia, I think like me, whatever makes you feel good, you do it. Okay. If it's something to help you sleep, you do it. If it's something to do this, you do it. Whatever makes you feel good, you do it. If you got the tools in your tool belt and you got to use them, you use them. And that's just how I use it. And, it is what it is. And I'm a firm believer, and I've done lots of things, tried many things. And I think Guy's situation has really helped me a lot more than a lot of other places, things that I've done over all the years. And, I just and he pushes me a lot, which is good. Repetition, repetition, repetition. And he is truthfully right. Because all the things I have tried have not seemed to really help it. And there are days that I just say, I'm really just tired. I'm just tired of it. But, it could be a lot worse. Things could be a lot worse. And so that's kind of how I go with it. I just go with the flow, you know, and No, it is what it is.
That's actually, Mike, one of the things that you said when you started to kind of ask your question was there were two things that you mentioned. It's like when you wake up from after the night or from a nap, then it's like right there. That was one thing. And then the second thing was that it fluctuates. And how do you deal with the fluctuation? So I just want to grab the feedback we got from everybody else in the last few minutes about the fluctuation at least is that the first thing is that you don't worry about tomorrow. You deal with today and think about today and live in the present. Because worrying about tomorrow is not gonna help you. It's just gonna get your brain to lock on that false alarm, basically. So and I know it's kind of annoying that you have a good day, maybe a good day, a good afternoon, and then after that it's back, and you go like, wait, I felt the progress happening, so what's going on? So so unless you get spikes really often, you should just not worry about it. So one of the things that is very common for people to do is to say, I had a good day, so why now? Why it's back? Um, or why, like why it changes? Why, when you're trying to understand some of those things that's happening in your nervous system once in a while, it's not a productive, it's not a productive um, activity for you, basically, unless there's a repetition of spikes or repetition of patterns that you just need to understand. And there's a way to do that, of course. But if it's something that happens once in a while, then don't try to understand it, because when you try to understand it, you just put the focus and the importance back on the sound.
Exactly.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So for
Thank you.
when it comes to the fluctuation, I just want to say, just like Brian was saying, go with the flow. Worry about today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about today. Make today better. And if you take the other feedback we got from Patricia, is that get engaged. Go do stuff. Instead of just sitting there and soak in the sound, just go and do stuff. Focus on your life. Focus on things that you have to do is the best is really the best thing that you can do at the stage that you guys are talking about, where you have more fluctuation and the sound is more bothering you, but you already had good moments, like good
Yeah.
moments or good afternoons or good days. Then the best thing you can do is just focus on stuff that is important to you. That is the best thing.
No, use your tools. No, absolutely. And I like Brian, his montage. It is what it is. That's what I used to say. I still say it, and I like that. It's gonna go up on my wall. It is what it is. I have a wall with all the sayings and all that.
See, I don't
You
know,
should
like
share a
how
picture with us. Yeah.
I
I
don't know how
will.
the rest of you guys are, but I have a not a bad habit, but where I can fall asleep. Usually, when I fall asleep on the couch or accidentally for a little bit, and then go sleeping for just a little bit, and I wake up and it's like right there, and then I have the same problem like in the morning, like it's always right there in the morning. But I've seemed to realize I just go with it because if I try to get a little, it irritates me a lot, then it just makes it worse. So, like Patricia says, you just go do something, and as time goes on, it does seem to get better. It does. I mean, I've learned over all the time, like Patricia said, she's habituated once, just like I did. I habituated once. I says, wow, this is really good. And then all of a sudden, uh, I went to a few concerts with earplugs, and and it was good. Then all of a sudden, it just the earplugs worked, but it just I think it was me thinking that it was going to get worse, and that's what it was, more me thinking it was. It wasn't that it was worse, it was just me. So then I had to start habituating the second time, and it's working. It's a slow, long process. It's like the habituation, like guys, it's not that you get rid of it, it's just that you kind of get used to it. It's part of your day to day and may not day to day and some days. And that's all I know of having it so long. I mean, I don't know how long the rest of everybody else has, but I think that's immaterial. Uh, if you can learn, if you catch it at the beginning more and follow some of the protocols that guys got, it'll help you. I mean, if I knew Guy way back in the day when I was in the rabbit hole, I wouldn't have been in the rabbit hole. See, but we all learn from mistakes, so life is too short not to go on with life. You know,
You learn from the past, but you should not dwell on the past, right?
right?
Amen.
And
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm like Patricia. I monitor, and Guy says you got to stop monitoring, but it's kind of a hard situation to do sometimes. You know, but I'm getting better than I used to be. And so I don't know what else to say.
that is probably so. This is probably gonna. It's a good point for all of you here on this call. Is the monitoring part that is either happening accidentally, like without you actually meaning to do that, or it happens because you're thinking too much and focused on the sound. But this is probably where all of you can get a big boost forward in habituation is to stop that habit. That's a really it's a it's a it's a bad habit. It's a hard habit to to break. But remember what I taught you in one of the workshops that we had, I think last month, is we talked about how the brain is actually working in patterns. And that's why what we do with tinnitus relief is we work on training the brain to develop new patterns. And at the beginning, we do everything manually by repetition. This is the repetition part. We repeat the stuff because we are teaching the brain to create new patterns. But if there is something that you can help yourself, like by a big jump forward, is to catch yourself monitoring and then realize what's happening, and do it as quickly as possible, realize what's happening and shift your focus away. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that I'm doing something, and all of a sudden either I had, and this is probably the most frustrating part, is that you had an hour or a moment or half a day of not paying attention to tinnitus, and all of a sudden you go like, wait a second, is it there? Is it louder? Is it quieter? And then all of a sudden, bah, it's right in your face. So when this is a habit that you need to stop. It's like when you having a moment or a moment. Remember, a moment can be 5 minutes or 1 hour. It's a period of time where you just didn't pay attention to tinnitus. Just take 20 seconds and acknowledge that, wow, this was a good afternoon or a good morning or whatever, and keep going. Keep don't start, don't fall into this trap of like, is it there? Is it louder? Because immediately when you do that, your brain change the focus back to, you know what?
Yeah.
The other part is that the other very common scenario is that when you are dealing with it, when you're in you're in a higher, or doesn't have to be a spike, but you're dealing with the symptoms right now. You're experiencing them. You're not having a good time, and you're starting to compare. Like yesterday, I had more quiet. Like now, it's louder. Do I have a new sound? You start kind of a measuring. You measure what you experience. And that when you do that, what you're basically doing is telling your brain, this sound is important. I need to understand it. I need to analyze it. And when you do that, your brain goes like, oh, it's going to latch into this sound instead of letting it go. So whenever you find yourself measuring in any kind of way, you should just, in a calm manner, just say, I'm measuring. It's not important. It's not dangerous. I should just go back to what I do. What is my next thing to do today, which is important? That's and the most important part that I can say is just do it calmly. I mean, you can see me how I'm trying to convey the way I deal with it. It's like, okay, I'm measuring. It's not important. It's not dangerous. I'm going to go back to writing my script for the next video, which I didn't film it. which, which is, by the way, I know I've been less active on the community and YouTube recently, but I'm just doing a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, and I'm trying to get back to my um, pay, normal pace of sharing content. So I'm gonna get there. But going back to the fluctuation, that's how, and the measuring, sorry, that's how you deal with this. You just catch yourself and calmly recognize what's happening and switch your focus to something important, something meaningful to you. That's the if you can master this one skill, I'm telling you guys, you're gonna jump 5 levels up in the process.
So, Guy, you're saying if we can just master the where we don't monitor or we just say that again. I kind of lost it a little bit.
So when you catch yourself measuring or monitoring the sound, so when you do that, just catch yourself calmly and switch your focus to something else, basically, instead of keep doing it. Now, the best way is to not fall into this trap, but sometimes it just happens. Like the most common example is to wake up. When you wake up in the morning or when you wake up from a nap, that's when it just happens. It just, you
Yeah.
can't, it's really hard to control it. You wake up, your brain is going from no tinnitus whatsoever, because when you dream, there's no tinnitus. Your brain is not monitoring the environment. And then you wake up, it doesn't matter if it's a nap or from the night. And the first thing as you gain consciousness, it's like, woo, the sound is right there, right? So that one is hard to avoid, but what you can do at that moment is understand what's happening. Okay, I'm experiencing I'm experiencing what seems to be a spike because of the contrast. Just help yourself understand. While I was dreaming, there is no tinnitus. My brain is not tracking tinnitus. When I wake up and I'm conscious again, now it's like a black and white. It's like from nothing to my tinnitus. And because it's that contrast that make it seem like it's so loud. It Here's the thing: the sound did not change. It's just a contrast that is making it seem so overwhelming. So now, this is an example where it just happens. You can't do anything about it. But what you can do is the next thing. What you can control is what you do next. What you should do next is go like, okay, It's the contrast from sleeping to waking up. Nothing changed. There's no alarm. It's still not important. Still not dangerous. I'm going to do something. And when the contrast is so strong from nothing to waking up, it's better that you just get up and go do something like physical, like go, like if it's after the night, go wash your teeth, take a shower, whatever you guys do in the morning, just go do it. Instead, the bad choice, in my opinion, would be to keep lying in bed and go like, oh my God, this sound is so loud. Why is it so loud now? Oh my, you get the point, right? You get what I'm
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, just get up, start your day. That is your best friend. And then when you wake up from, if you took a nap by mistake or because you wanted to take a nap, my wife, for example, she takes power naps. She's an expert power nap person. Amazing. Um, but so if you take a nap and you wake up and then immediately it's so loud, just just tell yourself it's not different. It seems so loud because of the contrast. That's what's happening. So remind yourself, and then just say it's still the same sound. It's not dangerous. It's not important. I'm going to go focus on something. I'm going to go do something. And when you do
So,
that, you're teaching your brain. You guys just trust me on this. You can do this multiple times. Like per day with quick switch because all of you, I think most of you are you know the different variation of a quick switch or a story or whatever that you guys use. Um, it you can do it at some parts of your journey. You may do it 50 times per day. Don't get discouraged. It's like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. It takes seconds. So if you do it 50 times, so what? But then gradually you're gonna find yourself doing it 40, then 30, then 20, then 10, and the period of time that you have quiet again, I get it from 1 hour to 2 hours to afternoons to a day. That's how it works. As your brain learns the pattern that you're teaching it, the period of time that you have peace get longer and longer and longer. That's how it works.
so explain the contrast. What's like, what does contrast mean? I kind of have an idea.
I need to just show you.
Okay.
Let's say that we are all quiet. Just let me prepare something. I want to prepare something so I can show you. Uh, oh my God, come on. I'm just choosing something to play. Oh, I have one that is gonna make all of you crazy. uh, wait a second. Okay, never mind. Doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Let's say everybody just be quiet for a second. Okay. Just don't say anything. This is when you sleep. When you sleep, like this. Now you wake up. You don't hear it. You hear the sound I'm playing, right? Oh no.
A little bit. I don't, very little.
Oh, yep.
Really? Oh, it's
Yep.
because I have noise reduction.
It doesn't
You
annoy
don't
us.
hear this? No?
Yes.
Yeah.
I need to find a different thing to play. The point is, your tinnitus is the same level. So let's say, okay, you hear me now say, "Bzzz." You hear that?
Yeah.
Bzzz, you hear, okay. So So you're when you sleep, no tinnitus. The brain does not observe tinnitus when you sleep. When you wake up and you become conscious, and let's say that your tinnitus is like bzzz, that immediately is the first thing that you hear. So it's a contrast from no sound to tinnitus is back. That is the contrast.
Okay.
Um, but because you had no perception of tinnitus while you sleep, and now, okay, what happens? Let's take another example. What happens when you play? Oh, you don't hear me?
No, I
Yep.
hear you.
You hear me or no?
We hear
Yeah.
you. Yep.
Yeah. So let's say that you play a sound from your phone through for a pillow. So let's say that you put a phone and then the pillow, okay, and then you take the pillow out. So it's the same sound, right? It's you're playing the same sound, but you put a pillow to your ear. So a pillow, the sound, okay, it you can barely hear it, right? But then you take the pillow out, and now the same sound is like so loud. Here, so look, let's say that I have my phone, okay? Here my phone, and I have a pillow here, and I play the sound from the phone through the pillow. It's not gonna be too loud. But if I take the pillow out, now I hear the same sound much louder. Is that making sense or
No.
no?
No, I kind of lost because yeah, you kind of have to go through that a little go with me a little bit more. Because if you hear the speakers and you got the pillow, so you take the pillow away, you just hear the speakers more. Is that what you're saying? This is just kind of muffling it a little bit.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, so that's what the difference is. Yeah, you still hear because hey Mike, did you ever get that sound pillow yet? Did you get
Yep.
it from
Yep.
Scott? From Scott?
Yeah. I guess guy sent me something and it was okay, but yeah.
Yeah, it's from yeah. So it's not that it just kind of gives you something else. It's not that you don't listen here tinnitus. It's just that you're listening to that too. So I sometimes it helps me a lot, and sometimes it don't. So
Yeah.
it's just like another tool in the tool belt, Mike.
Yeah.
Oof, oof.
And so you manage the tools, because I have a lot of tools in my tool belt, and I pull them out whenever I need them, and sometimes I need them and sometimes I don't. And I was just about your age when since this started happening, uh, and so you just go with the flow, Mike,
I appreciate that.
you know, and stuff like that. And I think, like I told you, mentioned to everybody that I've done lots of things that I've tried, and I think the consistency that Guy says, and I'm real bad in the consistency stuff, but I know for me, it's actually helped me a lot, even if I say it uh, 50 times or 30 times. It's not dangerous, not important, and you just keep saying that and saying that and saying that. And if
And
it's not
doing
there,
and
then you don't.
doing Brian, saying that and doing the action. Saying that
Right.
without doing the action means nothing because tinnitus is gonna grab you. So you gotta
Right.
say that and then switch your attention away from tinnitus. That is
So
the exercise.
okay, that's there. So the other one is where it's if it's not really bothering you, then you say, I'm just you're just coming along for the ride. Is that what it is?
Well, no, what I'm saying, the when you're saying you're not dangerous, you're not important, I'm gonna go do something, right?
Okay.
So the action of actually let's take an example. Let's say that for me, I'm gonna go write a script or a video, just for example. So I'm gonna say, tinnitus is bothering me. I'm gonna say, okay, I hear you. You're not important. You're not dangerous. I'm going to go back to finish my script, and then do it. That means I have to do it, because if I don't do it and I just sit there, then tinnitus is going to grab my attention back, and then you broke the exercise. The exercise is not going to be effective.
Right. Okay.
So,
I think that's my biggest thing. And the other one you said is about if uh tennis can come along, but I'm driving. That's when it's really not bothering you.
yes.
That's when it's just like it's riding on your shoulder, but it ain't yelling at you, you know. So is that the one where I'm driving, but you can come along? So that's another one you say. Is that works real good too. And you just kind of let it be there.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
and keep focusing on your activity, whatever
Okay.
activity. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't know if what Brian just said makes sense to John and Mike, so I'll just explain it, because Brian has the technique that I don't know if we covered it. But what he's talking about is, sometimes you switch to an activity, you try to switch your focus to activity, and then tinnitus is still there. And then that can make you go like, oh, but it's still there, so I can't do the activity. But the other option is to say, I'm gonna do my activity. I'm gonna change my focus and do the activity. If tinnitus is still in the background, that's fine. I don't care. That's what he means. But he says, tinnitus can come along, but I'm driving. The point is, you control what you're doing, even if tinnitus is still louder. It doesn't matter. You switch your focus to something else. And that's another very powerful techniques, a technique, so to stop paying attention to the sound and the symptoms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys want to ask or talk about one more topic? Is
Yeah.
it enough talking about it?
No, I got time. I mean, aren't you from Florida too, Mike?
Yeah. I'm
Hey,
middle
and
Florida.
you're where?
I'm in Sanford.
Okay, I went to boot camp in Orlando, Florida, way back in the
Oh my
day.
God. Yeah. I know that base.
I remember that base. That's the only base in the whole United States where the Waves went to boot camp. You know the Waves women. So it
Yeah.
kind of made a little bit different instead of just saying a bunch of guys who got the girls. But that's way back. Well, let's see. I joined 74, so but Orlando is still there, but is the base still there?
No. No. Buildings. No, everything's gone.
Everything's gone. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I can still, yeah.
Modernization. Oh, hotel, oh, yeah.
Modernization. Hey, where's John from? John, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I live in Nova Scotia, Canada.
Where?
He's
I
in
don't know if you can
Canada.
hear me. Nova Scotia, Canada.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it's usually cool here. Temperature.
What's the weather now?
Actually, it's just turning nice now. It's about 20 Celsius. Fahrenheit, that's about 70.
70. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd take that a lot compared to the 100-degree temperatures I get in that John gets.
Yeah, I used to have a place in Florida. I like it there.
Right, right. Yeah. It is sort of, so yeah. So, Guy, you got another something else you were going to help us with?
Say it again, but what was the last thing?
What was he going to say? One more thing to help us, Mike? He's got one more
if
technique.
we had something, or if we had someone wanted to ask something, or for one last thing that if we want to address.
No, this meeting is about you guys. So if and it's a good. I mean, we've been more than an hour, so I figure we can stop and then do one next week with new topics. Yeah.
No, I just thought he had one more thing that you were going to address, but no, I think we all got off the subject and we kind of all forgot, you know.
Yeah, maybe it's
That's all
fine.
right.
I plan to do this more often instead of like once a month. We do it once a week or once every 2 weeks. If we get this kind of conversation, that's worth it.
No, I think it's really cool, you know. It's just kind of convey with people that other people have, you know, do it, and we all got maybe some ideas or some tools that we can use, but some tools work for others and some tools don't work for this person, and you know, we all are on our own little journey, and life goes really pretty fast. I mean, I never thought I'd be, you know, that life would go
Yeah,
this fast, you know.
yes, and I think, like I was saying in the beginning, I think hearing you guys, hearing other tinnitus sufferers that are not me speaking about the same challenge is, I think it's very helpful. So I hope so. I mean, you guys tell me if it's not.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, so John, are you retired or do you still work?
I work part-time right now.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what do you do?
I actually work for a government agency up here.
Oh, okay, that's a cool job.
It's okay. It's not my ideal thing, but I have to talk a lot. I'm on the phone pretty much all the time. So
Oh, okay.
sometimes it gets to my ears a little bit too. So, and sometimes it helps occupy my mind too. So,
Right. I think when I was working, it was a lot different than since I retired. Because you know, because you got a different thing about how things work, you know, how you and you know, about when, you know, it is what it is. When you retire, you're kind of not as busy. You're doing something else. And when you're working, you're working. And what about Mike? Mike, you retired?
It's funny. I was hoping you wouldn't get on me. Well, I'm 60, so I still got another couple more years. I've got some things in the works. I'm working. I was trying to get a little bit better, but ever since I've been with Guy, I see I've had a lot. I've built decks. I mean, this is a 30 foot by 30 foot deck, about 6 foot high. So it was crazy, but I used the tools and I even talked to Guy about it when I was doing it. So yeah, I want to go back to work, but my problem is I'm in construction, so I'm trying to think maybe a different part of construction, maybe be like a go out and assess jobs for people and all
Yeah.
that while everybody's gone, you know, when it's quiet. So I still things. We're working at Home Depot. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to do something to stay busy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I used to work outside. I actually liked it a lot better. I prefer being outside, but it is what it is now. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was a welder for 30 years, so I was around all kinds of crazy stuff, noises and stuff, you know, and I think that didn't really help. But, you know, like Guy says, you can't worry about the past
You
because the
can't change it.
past is the past. So I just try to just go forward with what I do, and it is what it is because the time just goes by so fast, you know.
You know, you will find this. I'm gonna leave you with a philosophical thought. I spoke. There's a video on YouTube that I showed, and that Mike, I don't think you saw it. I'm curious, or maybe then John, but no, I think John saw it. But Mike, maybe he didn't. Um, I spoke with this guy that has a different perspective on challenges. You know, if you think about it for a second, almost everyone, or pretty much everyone, I think, has some kind of a challenge. You know, people can be really wealthy, so they are not worried about money, but they have health problems. Or people have physical, like serious physical problems, and people have like us, more like tinnitus and hearing problems, and ADHD is also something that affects people invisibly. You don't see it, but people's the way they think is affected. So if you think about it, almost everyone has something that is a challenge for them. And the bottom line of what this guy is saying, which I agree with, I really agree with, is that you take your challenge. It's a challenge. It can be annoying. It can be challenging. It can be a lot of not negative things, but turn that challenge into something that pushes you to grow, to change, to overcome it. And I think that's just a powerful thought, because instead of letting the challenge control you, first you're learning to control the challenge, and second you're learning, you're adjusting to get back to what you want to do. So I think it's a powerful way of thinking, and the video is on YouTube. I put both the conversation with this guy. We were talking specifically about tinnitus, by the way, and I put the conversation online. This is the few months ago, and then also put the video where I kind of summarize the takeaway the way I see it. And maybe it's a good thing to do, to post it in the community again, just to
Yeah.
remind people.
Could you do that? Yeah, I have seen it.
Yeah, I will do that.
And real quick, I just want to say one thing. I don't know if everybody's seen the Bruce Lee, that 16-second clip.
Yeah, I was just going to say something about that.
Let me tell you, I got that up on my wall. It's what we make of it. We control, you know what I mean? That one, that was a game changer for me. That's helped me a lot, and I go to it often. I got a whole wall. I'll take a picture and show you guys. But that one hit home, and even my wife was like, "Wow!" And I knew who Bruce Lee was, but I didn't know he was that. It's a shame he died so early. But that when he says peace is what you make of it, and that's the shift. I was like, wow. Well, it blew me away.
Hey,
How
guy,
do you find peace? How do
I
you
got an
find peace?
idea.
You don't find peace, you choose it.
That's it.
But
Amen. Look, you know it.
but
I'm gonna get a tattoo. I'm gonna get a tattoo right there. I gotta begin the farm.
so
Yeah.
here I got a question for you. It says in that Bruce Lee, you choose it by what you ignore, but and since you were a kung fu guy, you said you push it away. Is that true? How do you push it away?
I practice traditional kung fu, which means that it comes with the spirituality, with the physical stuff, with the mental stuff, with everything. The way that they teach it in the Shaolin Temple in China. And yes, my my teacher, Sifu is called, is an amazing guy. And one day I'm gonna get him to do a video with me. And he's just
But
an amazing person. That is kind of like, um, yeah, he just mentally, physically, spirituality so strong, and such a nice guy, and such a yeah, just amazing person. So yeah, I got a lot of that for my training, my comfort training. Yeah.
But I have
that
one
was a
more question. It says you choose it by what you ignore or by what you release. But then you say in your kung fu you push it away. What's that kind of mean? You ignore it or you push it away? So you try to ignore it, instead you push it away.
The way, so habituation is basically the point I mean, it's okay. So habituation, first of all, is not an off and on switch, as you all know, I think by now. It's a dial. It's a, I have, let's say somebody has 20% habituation, somebody has 40. Someone like myself is probably closer to, I don't know, 80 or 90 or something like that. But it's never 100%. I don't know anyone that has 100. You can still have moments that tinnitus bother you. The only difference that when tinnitus bother me, it's for minutes or maybe for an hour or so, and then it just disappears because my brain automatically, with the stuff that you guys have to do manually now, the point is that the brain learns to do it automatically. And when your brain learns to do it automatically, I just don't need to worry about it. Just this, I may have a spike for minutes or an hour or two, and then it just goes. Um, so, where I was going with that, your question was, so habituation is basically means that you, even if you hear it, like you know, tinnitus can be there, but I'm driving. That's what it means. It means that you can hear it, but you just don't pay attention to it. And when
Doesn't
you
bother
don't pay attention to it, what the brain does, it just filters it out from your consciousness. And that's another video that I posted a long time ago that shows you how your brain literally changes what
me.
reality is. Your brain chooses what to focus on. So when your habituation level is high, it just filters out the perception of tinnitus. And so it's
Okay.
gone from your, this is what quiet means. It's gone from your consciousness.
Yep.
You just don't hear it.
Right.
Yeah. So when Bruce Lee is saying you don't find peace, you choose it.
Yeah.
And you choose what you release and what you ignore. Ignore and release the monitoring of tinnitus, and then your brain is gonna your brain is gonna follow the lead and stop putting it in front of you. Instead of being in front of you, it becomes something in the background, somewhere here. That's what translate what Bruce Lee said to tinnitus. That's what it means. Release the monitoring, stop the monitoring, choose to focus on your life. That is basically it. Focus on your life, release the monitoring.
You got another
Done.
video there, guy.
I
I mean, putting that
think
all
so.
together with that Bruce Lee clip would be incredible.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's a
I'm
good idea.
serious. But thank you for today. You've given up your time.
No, it's
And thanks.
cool.
Yeah, no problem. I love, you guys know I do what I do because
I,
after what I went through, I just I just had to share the
amen.
real, yeah,
Thank you.
because there's so much, forgive me, crap out there about tinnitus.
Yeah. So, Mike, I'm gonna tell
So
you
I'll
something.
let you go. It is like 1 hour and a half now. So
So,
I'll
Mike,
let you guys go. Have a
okay,
great
I'll
weekend,
talk to you
all of
later, man.
you.
Okay, guy.
Embrace what Brucey said. Okay, choose your life to focus on. Release the monitoring.
Amen. Everybody
Okay.
have a good weekend.
Okay.
Okay, man. Talk to y'all later.